Hi, this is Paula, and I see a lot of requests for for chip bag layouts and a lot of questions asking which software do you use. Well, I'm using CraftArtist Pro 2, and I think this is the simplest software to do a lot of things, especially when it comes to your templates. So what you see now is the standard screen for this. This is going to be your default screen whenever you open the program up. But what I'm going to need to do is for a chip bag, I need an 8.5 by 11 paper, but I need it in a landscape format. So I'm going to go here to page setup, and there it is, the letter landscape. I'm just going to double click on that. Now my page has been changed. Now, when I do a chip bag, I know I want to have a 1/2 inch where my glue line is going to be. So I just put that on there. And now I know that I'm working with a 5.5 inch area. So 5 1/4 is going to be my center line. So I'm just going over here to this rulers and I'm pulling out a guide. So 5 1/4, and I believe it's like 2.6 is the half mark. Okay. And I believe it's 7.6 too. Okay, I'm just going to do this quickly because that is not right. And if I was actually doing a chip bag, I would work more to get this accurate. But since I'm just doing it for a quick tutorial, my dimensions may be a little bit off. But another thing you can do is you can go to shapes, select a square. And if I know my first section is the right size I need it to be, I'm just going to add a square here. I'm going to color it, and I'm going to pull down the opacity on this, and then I want my outline to be transparent. Now I'm going to select this, and I know I have my line at the half inch mark. So if I grab my guideline, I just need to pull it over, line it up with that one. And now I know that my sides will be equal. So now I'm going to copy this square. And I'm going to paste it. Now I'm just going to drag it back over here to the front. And I'm also going to add another square. And using my transform, I know I want it to be 11 wide and 8.5 high. Now I'm going to align this with my page, and I'm going to center it horizontally, and I'm going to center it vertically. And there I have it. And I'm going to edit. I'm going to select all. I'm going to group these. And then I'm going to pull it in as a background. And I'm also going to add it. This little flyout will give me my pages. I want to add it as a DigiKit layout. And this way I can use it as a guide later on if I need it. But I usually just like to work with the guides. So I'm going to cut this and just show you, if I save it as a background, whenever I'm working the same 8.5 by 11 paper, I can just pull that on, and there's my guide. And then if I go to my layers panel, there's my background. That's it. But say when I go to print this, I'm going to hide that guide. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this again. Now, the freebie that I'm going to use in this tutorial is Rosaline from Creative Fabrica. Go here and show it to you. And it's just these little 5 images, and it's on page 2 of the freebies. Now I've already downloaded this kit into my onto my computer, and now I'm going to add the photos, the clip art to it. So what I want to use are just the ping files. So I'm going to go here and click that one and hit my control. And my pings are coming up with a black background, which is okay. Okay, I added everything. I thought I was just selecting the ones that I wanted. My mistake. But what I'm going to do is bring this one in. This is the ping. And I like to work with the colors of the image of the clip art I'm using. So I want to go to Palette Generator. But as you see, the PNG file has a black background, and I don't want that. So I'm going to hit Cancel. And I am going to convert this to picture. Under Tools, Convert to Picture. Okay, and that's going to get rid of that black background. Now I'm going to generate a palette from it. Now these are the 16 colors that it's pulling from this image. I could do more colors, and I could go into Advanced to more refine the colors that it pulls out, but I don't need that. So I'm going to go into, if I just leave it like it is, where it says Document Palette, which is this palette right here, it'll just add these colors to this palette. But because I am going to be creating a DigiKit also, I'm going to go to My DigiKit, and I'm going to hit OK. Now, I'm going to go More, and I'm going to change that palette to My DigiKit. And now you see I have the DigiKit colors, the generated colors I should say, from here. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to pull this into my embellishments so I could save it for later. And these other pings, I would do the same thing. I would just pull them into my embellishments so I could save them all for later. So I'm going to cut this and cut this. Now, if I wanted to begin with a chip bag, again, I can use my background to show me where the things go and then hide it. But since I have my guides, I'm really just going to start from scratch. So I'm going to start with a pink color, and I'm going to draw a shape. I'm going to do this at 8.5 by 11. I like the color, but I'm not crazy about having it that dark. So over here I have options to adjust the color. So I'm going to go to the color wheel, and I'm just going to make this a little bit lighter. And the center here, I want say a plaque in the center. I wasn't off my shape tool, that's why I added this extra square. So I'm going to cut that. But I am going to go back to my shapes, and I like this little thing here, but I want it white. So I'm going to make the fill on it white, and I want the outline transparent. And I want a little more style to this, so I'm going to add a second shape. Same thing. Selection tool, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to align these vertically and horizontally, and then under arrange, I'm going to add the two together to become one shape. And I do like this shape, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it into my embellishments so I have it to use again later on. Now here's just the center design for this, but I want to add a little something to it. I'm going to go to line. I'm going to add a color to it. And then I'm just going to thicken that line up. And I'm going to add one of these flowers to it. Resize it. And then because this is a chip bag, if I want to add something here or on this side, again, you can just type it in. Or if you like those squares for nutritional facts and all that, you can add that to it. I'm just going to add a square. Transparent, fill color white. Gonna copy this, paste it, cut that. I always forget to go back to my selection tool. Okay, so this is just, again, just a basic chip bag design. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to go and I'm going to save this as a DigiKit layout. And what I'm also going to do right now, and what you want to get in the habit of, is saving. So I'm going to do this temp tutorial. So that's how I'm going to save it. Now, okay, say I have this chip bag, but I'm doing everything for this party. So I also want to do an invitation. So what I'm going to do now is make sure I don't have anything selected. I'm just going to go here to page setup and say I want to do a 5x7 card. I don't have a standard size for that, so I'm going to hit custom and custom. I'm going to make this 5 inches wide and 7 inches tall. And I want it in portrait. So here I'm going to change this to portrait. And I'm going to hit OK. It is not in portrait. Let me go back into this. Make sure it's OK. So there it is. And so those are the squares for the chip bag that don't fit on this. So I'm just going to cut this. Those other squares should be there too. Get rid of those. Again, I'm going to align this to the center. And I'm just going to add this as a DigiKit layout. And say I want something different here. I'm going to add a brush that I did create to the edges. So here, I'm going under Polar Brushes. I'm going to add pearls to this. And I'm going to make my pearls a little larger and zooming in so you can see them. And I have other videos on how to create your brushes. But say now I have this pearl on the outside, which is a little bit fancier. So you know what? I'm going to add that one as a DigiKit layout too. So now I have 5x7 card, 2 different designs, and I also have my chip bag. Okay, now I've done that, but I also want to do, say, water bottle labels. So I'm going to make sure I don't have anything selected. I'm going to go to page setup again. My water bottle labels are like 2 inches high. So actually, let me change my height to 2. And my width is 8.5. So I'm going to hit OK. Oh, I'm going to change this to landscape. Make my corrections here to landscape. Okay. So now I can take this. Let me zoom out so you can see. Now I'm just going to totally resize these things. So here's that center design that I like so much. Again, I'm using the same flower. You zoom back in. And let me make these pearls just a little bit smaller on this one. And again, I'm going to go here and I'm going to save this as a DigiKit layout. I have my water bottle label. And say I wanted the background a different color. I still have this background at 8.5 by 11, which I really should resize, but I'm just going to keep going here. And say I want this to be green. You know what? I'm going to add this as a DigiKit layout. Okay, now I have chip bag, 2 cards, 2 water bottle labels. I want to do a candy bar as well. So here I go. I'm going, make sure I don't have anything selected. I still have that rectangle selected because it's so, I didn't adjust the size. Go to that paper and just go ahead and resize it. This blue line represents the paper, and so it's huge. Go ahead and resize that. I'm going to go transform, and I want it 2 inches high. Okay. Make it a little bit larger. But that's, now I have it in position. Now I can go over here to page setup. I'm going to do my candy bar now. For my candy bars, it's 5 1/4 wide, and the height of it is 5.5. Okay, so this is my candy bar. I still have my flower here. My green piece of paper is still on here somewhere. Let's see. If I go into my layers, I'm going to resize it to 5.5 by 5.5. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. So now this is the label that I'm starting with, and I know, again, when I do these, my my actual template would have a little bit more accuracy to it, but I kind of eyeball these as well. So I'm going to remove all these guides from the chip bag here. Now same thing, I know I have like a 1/2 inch fold over. So I'm going to give myself a 1/2 inch there. And my center line is somewhere about there. And so I save this embellishment of that shape that I liked. Now, however you set this up, this can be your top with that folding over, or you can do it opposite. Put your fold over here, whichever way you're more comfortable doing it. But this is the way I like it. And say on this one, I'm going to use one of these other flowers. I want to use this flower. And I want to change this up a little bit. So this time I'm going to have this one, the light pink, in the center. And I'm going to bring down the color on it because I do want it lighter. And I also want to add some more detail to this. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to make a shape. I'm going to do the circle. And I'm going to make this small. I want this circle white. Make a small white circle. And under Tools, Replicate, I'm going to do 18 rows and 18 columns. And then I'm going to, let me zoom out some. If I group that panel of polka dots now, it's not going to have the first dot that I started with. So I'm going to go to my selection tool. Now I have all of them. I'm going to group them, and I'm also going to save them in my embellishments. But now I'm going to take this, I'm going to come back up, and I'm going to send it. I'm going to send it to the back, and then I'm going to bring forward one. So now I have this design with polka dots in it. You know, I'm not crazy about the pink, so I'm going to change it back to white. And I'm going to do the line. And I'm going to do it. Undo that. Make sure I have the line selected. And I'm going to make that line greener and a little thicker so that you can see it. Okay, now say I'm building my candy bar from here. I'm going to add this as a DigiKit layout. Now for the gift for this party, I might be wanting to do a sublimation mug. So I know when I do my mugs, my paper size is 9 wide, 4 high. So I'm going to go to page setup. I'm going to change this to landscape. I'm going to go 9 on the width, 4 on the height. And let me zoom out. Now let's say I want to do a little something different with this. This polka dots. I'm going to cut those polka dots. This background color, I'm going to change the color again. Maybe I'll go with this yellow. Transparent. And again, for that color, I just want it softer. So now this is my mug. I'm going to add the shape. Add shape. Just going to add the square. Copy this one. You can hit Control and just drag the item that you want to duplicate. And say now if I want to use this, and instead of having it as a just white space, I can hit Tools, Convert to Picture. And once I convert it to picture, I have this option here, Convert to Frame. And so now, if I wanted to add a photo to it, and let's see, who do we want on this one? I use this little girl on everything, so I'm going to go ahead and use her again. So now, I can take this and just drag it into it, and now I have that frame. Or I could take the ping version of this, add a shape, a circle, that fits behind this. I'm going to fill it with white. Transparent. Okay, it's pink, but that's okay. And I'll go to Tools, Convert to Picture. And Tool, Convert to Frame. So now, I can bring her into that, and I can also, didn't mean to send her that far back. Now here she is in this circle frame from that same kit. And say I did want to add those polka dots to it. And I'm going to make the dots a different color. And I can bring these up to the front. Okay, and I'm just going to save this as another DigiKit layout. And you know, I like this shape as a frame, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it into my frames. I'm going to take this one and pull it into my frames. So now that I have this that I've been doing, I'm going to save it again. And you do, can't stress it enough, want to get in the habit of saving. Now I'm going to Tools, and I'm going to go to DigiKit Creator. So now those items that I pulled into embellishments, I could have pulled all 5 of them in here, but I didn't, just to save time. Backgrounds, I have that chip bag template, and let's see, frames, I have those 2 frames that we made. I don't have any materials or letters, but here in the layouts, I have that chip bag template, I have the chip bag, I have the 5x7 card in 2 ways, I have my water bottle labels, my candy bar, and 4 mug wrap. Now I'm going to save DigiKit. I'm going to say no to this one. And I had called this temp tutorial, so before I save it though, I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to cancel it right there because I should have added tags to these. So this one is going to be chip bag. Chip bag for that one. This one here is going to be invite. This one's going to be invite. Just going to call this one water. Water. Candy bar. And mug. Okay, now for my layout. These are the layouts that I have. Now I could save this DigiKit. No, I don't want any materials. And this is temp tutorial. We're going to save this. Now, let's say I'm going to start with a new file, and it says from Startup Wizard. Yes, I'm going to go with Startup Wizard. I'm going to choose a template, and I'm going to go down here to DigiKit, and say I don't want to search through all this. I could just type in chip. And it's going to bring up my ones with chip. So I guess I didn't save my tags properly. Okay, here we go again. We're going to choose a template. DigiKits. The one I just named was temp tutorial. And there are all my templates for the different sizes. And it's automatically going to give me the correct paper size when I do it. Now this time I'm just going into a blank project and 8.5 by 11. I'm saying okay. Now if it says my DigiKits, I can pull this up too, because this is one I did prior to this tutorial with this same kit. And in this one, I just took the time to create some backgrounds, materials, some more layouts, and I still have all my swatches here. And the one that I just did, temp tutorial. Go back. Okay, temp tutorial. Let me make sure I highlight the right one this time. Okay. Then here are all the things I have. But the only difference is if I click on this now and I pull my layout over here, it's going to stay at an 8.5 by 11 page. So if I want it to be the right size as the water bottle label, I need to go to File, New from Start Wizard, choose a template. I'm going down here to DigiKits. I'm going to go to Temp Tutorial again. Temp Tutorial. And then I'm going to open this water bottle label. And now it's going to come in the exact size that I needed. This is the 2 inches by the 8.5. So this is just a very quick rundown on Craft Artist. I really would usually spend a lot more time on these and get them more precise, but I'm just trying to give you an idea how you can quickly build your own templates doing this. One of the other ones that I've done is, this is another Creative Fabrica clip art package. And again, I did pretty much the same thing, pulled it in, but I added some more colors and created some of my own papers from this. I added the alphabet, and again, just did simply, this was a water bottle template, and I believe this was a invitation. And then I also had brushes, and I created this color palette from this as well. So again, if you have any questions about this program, please feel free to call me. And if you want me to do anything more detailed, focus on one item here, again, contact me as well. Okay, that's it for this tutorial.